Welcome to Pioneers of Pagonia. If you missed it, I already posted on the channel a couple of days ago a review of the game in its current state. As you can see in the bottom left corner, according to the development team, we're in pre-alpha build, but the reality is this game is already in such a great shape that it is really worth looking at, and the early access is actually coming quite soon. So again, don't hesitate to check after this video for this review. But today what we're gonna do is, this is a completely new map and we're gonna play it together so you can see how the game feels and you can see everything that it has to offer. So let's dive in. We have the Venturer, a nice ship that is over here that has arrived on a new island. We have a lot of pioneers, we have some constructors, we have some carriers and many others. We also have some resources, so it's time to start building. And to help us build, we have over here some objectives. Think of this a bit as a tutorial. You can, by the way, hover over something to see, a bit more detail. For example, build one explorer's hut close to the inland border to explore undiscovered terrain. They need rations to start their journey into the unexplored. So we'll need obviously to make sure we produce rations. By the way, these rations are over here. This is this one there. And while we're at it, let me show you that you can actually choose which resources you want to see in this UI. So that's pretty cool. But yes, let's start building a road coming from out of our ship and do something like this. Here we can cut this wood, so that's good. I don't really see stone yet. Where's the stone? Maybe over here. Okay, there's gonna be stone. So maybe we do something like this. And then over here, I can do another road, maybe to go like that. So that's a start for my city. And let's start putting some buildings. We have the explorer hut over here. It is going to require 3 explorers to work there. Cost us a bit of softwood and stones. We have that in reserve over here. You can see all good. So let's build that over here towards the end of our city. We can rotate it if we want. And we should also build 2 guards tower to protect our city. The reality is in this alpha build, there are actually no enemy yet. And you can see that my people are starting to come out of the ship. Some of them are transporting the resources that are needed. Some of them are going to be the builders, right? So it is. They're all coming out. And so we can see obviously this going down too. This is where you do get into the one big thing that I think they need to improve before release is just the pace. The pace of the game is too slow in my opinion. Right now I can start putting more buildings, but I just need to wait for them to build it, right? Like there's not much else I can do. So I would love, to have a speed button either over here. It could be 1 2 3 4 speed, or it could be that I choose I want 100% speed or I want 50% speed, those type of things. But yeah, I do think we need a bit more speed. And I'm not saying that this will be always the case, right? Like when I have a big city, many things are happening and I'm trying to optimize, then I know there's going to be many things to look at and to improve. But right now at the beginning, what else can I do? I mean, we can start building the other buildings, but that's gonna make us wait even more. So let's go into the second tab, wood and stone, because obviously that's what we're gonna need to grow our city. So we start with a wood cutting hut, which is going to gather, that wood. There's a lot of wood over there, so let's put it close by. And we're gonna also put 1 sawmill. Also want to put it pretty close, so that's hopefully quite efficient. Then in the future, we'll probably use also this building, the forester. Right, when we have cut all of those trees, we should probably replant some new ones, but we should be fine for a while. So let's move to the quarry, right? We need a quarry to get some stone. And actually, I see that the stone is over here, over there. Yeah, so there's no stone actually in my city right now. So maybe what we're gonna do is we're gonna expand the road over here a bit more. And when this is built, my explorer hut, I'm going to tell them to work over here, like expand this, because this is where I see stone close by. But we can still build, the quarry over here, done. And we're gonna transform also this stone into cut stone or border stones. We have a lot of different resources. If I click over here too, there's others like limestone and cement. Here in the wood, there's also other type of wood, mining. There's gonna be quite a few resources in the game. I think they said something like 70 in total for the early access. So let's put this. They say actually to build 2. So let's do that. This way, maybe we can focus 1 on the cut stone and we can focus the other one on the border stones. Similarly for the sawmill, we could decide what to focus on. Okay, our first building are almost done. I like that we have a bit of an animation, but do remember that this is still pre-alpha build. They have shared that many of the animations are still missing, and also some of the 3D elements for the buildings and people. So don't think this is the final state of the game. But it already looks pretty good, right? So we have the guard tower over here. It will have a bit of guards, and they're going to basically protect this area. And we have the explorer's hut, where we have over here, I think these are my 3 explorers that are coming. Perfect. They're going to arrive soon. And when they do, and they get some rations, then they can start walking. Here it is. You can see now 3 out of 3. Perfect. They're just waiting for some of the transporters to bring some rations. Here it is. You can see they are highlighted, so you know which one are going to be used for what. That's great. But again, it's going to take a bit of time for them to arrive, so that's but the annoying part. So now in the meantime, let's continue with our objectives, including we need to build a forester already. So let's do that. Let's put it, I think, over here, right? Because we want to rebuild that forest. That's a good one. And in the meantime, we can also start hunting. There is, I saw before some animals over there, but maybe I've scared them away. There's also some berries over there. That's pretty good. So going into the 3rd tab, food products. Again, you can see quite a few buildings, but we're just gonna start with the hunting lodge. So again, we can see highlighted, the resource. There's 1 deer over here. Oh, there's actually a lot more this side. So let's put it more there. It's rabbits there, I'm guessing. Yeah, smaller rabbits. They're pretty cute. So that is done. And let's also build a forager's hut to gather those raspberries or other things. And I see a lot on this. I see also a lot there. So maybe let's try to put it over here. Good. Okay. Then we need to have places for people to rest. Right now they're just sleeping in the boat. That's not so great. We need to place those cottages strategically so that they have lower distances between where they were to where they carry. So population and meal cottages over here. Let's go. Let's try to place them indeed close to the center of my city, like 1 over here, 1 over there, and there. That's a good start. My guard towers are also helping to expand the city, as you can see, the border of our territory. So that's great. This is using those border stones, and I can also tell them to stop working on this side and focus on that side over here so we can get into the stone. And in the meantime, let's send my explorers more over there to see also what they can find. Yeah, I think there's also stone there. Yes, now we can see we've discovered a bit of stone. So let's put also a quarry on that side because we need a second one anyway. And we need also many new buildings. So it's great to have those objectives, to learn a bit the game. But I do hope that for the final reversion of the game, maybe they'll make a bit more of an interactive tutorial, maybe with a small story. That'd be great, especially for new player into this genre. And then of course, you should be able to deactivate these objectives, which you already can, by the way. You go into the options over here, into gameplay. I can deactivate, the objectives. Then something that's quite important for people, right, is water. It's also going to be used for watering the plants and baking. Let's make sure that we build one. I would have loved to put it over there, but I made it a bit too close. So maybe let's put it there. My miners in the quarry over here are finally starting to work because we're getting some stone inside the territory. If you hover any resources, you can see what's happening to the resource. Like we have 71 in storage. There are 3 that are being transported to the storage, if I'm not mistaken. And on the other hand, we have 34 that are reserved to do something else, which is the stock that you can see in the stonemason. Right, this is what they're using to make the cut stone and the border stones. Okay, and with this, we have a lot more objectives. Let's go. We want to increase, for example, how much we cut of wood. So let's do that. Here, over here, for example, I have a lot more wood. Let's continue to expand the road now that we've extended my territory this way. Maybe also like this. And let's also expand our food production to make sure that we don't run out of food with a vegetable farm. I think in the middle over here, that's probably good. And we're just gonna add some farmland next to it. Let's also make sure that our people have a bit of fun with the tavern and some tavern tables. So let's build the tavern over here and the table around, like here, there, here, and there. That should be good. There's definitely more and more people working around my city, transporting resources, doing things. But again, I still think, I should be able to increase the speed. And it is, my vegetable farm has been built. We have 3 farmers that have some tools to help them work. There's some water, and they're going to do, some pumpkins and some cabbages. Great. So I can select pumpkin and cabbages over here to see it. And it is, we have some vegetables coming. You can see grows 10%, right? So you can follow when they'll be ready. That's really good. And it is the tavern that has been built. 6 people working there, 6 cooks. Okay, that's a lot, but why not? Why not? Gonna make my people happy, I hope. Maybe it's just me, I completely missed it, but so far I haven't seen any mechanics like happiness, where if you provide a lot of things to your people, they are more productive, for example. I hope maybe they're going to add this into the game, or again, maybe I just missed it. But yes, slowly but surely the city is growing, as you can see. We should also build a market now. We're going to have a market fountain and then some stalls. And yeah, I think let's do it just next to the tavern. A market, some stalls. Need a road over here. I hope that's gonna fit. Yeah, maybe let's continue it there. And yeah, it doesn't fit. Okay, that's fine. Let's also do a crop farm for things like wheat that then we can transform into bread. It's so good to see the city growing. I love it. It's becoming really a city now. But as you can see also, the pace at which I've been developing the city is too high, meaning all of my resources that I started with have been decreasing quite quickly. So I'm not going to be able to sustain that. I need to have a higher production of resources. By the way, while the minimap in the corner is not finished, you can already see some interesting elements. So for example, you have different colors for your farms over here versus my buildings. You can see also the resources, right? Like clearly this is a resource, this is the stone. Next to it over here, I have some coal. It's a different color on the map. And over here, I have a completely different color, which is the silver ore. There I have, another color, bit more goldish, it's a limestone. Here we have copper and iron. So there's quite a few resources and you can see them on the map. I would love a couple of filters though, for example, a filter that shows me only the mineral resources, and maybe a filter that shows me only the food resource, like where are the berries, where are the animals, then maybe a filter that is only my buildings. Like military buildings, for example, those type of things. So hopefully they will continue to work on that minimap. In the meantime, some of my pumpkins are ready, it seems. Take them. Yeah, she's getting it. Good animation. So hopefully now we're gonna be able to eat some. In some of my market stalls, right, I can choose what to do. Right now it's anything. Maybe there are some that I focus on food, for example. And it is some pumpkins coming into the market stalls for my people to buy and eat. I haven't been building a lot of cottages, but I'm low on stone. That's a problem. I need more stones. Let's also build a wood workshop to be able to make things like hunting bows. But look at this toolsmith or tool workshop. It's a lot more of different things, right? We have the hammer, the shovel, the axes, the pickaxes, the sickle, the knife, the saw, the chisel, the pliers. So a lot of complexity there. I love it. Then we have the weaponsmith over here, the armorsmith, artisan blacksmith coming soon. Interesting. The military academy to train military units, the Adventurers Guild to train adventurers with armors and weapons, and the Arcane Academy for mystic units. Storage, treasury, trading post, trading camp, the weaving shed to make some clothes for people. I think that's quite important. Leather worker for some backpacks, the mean to transform some of our raw resources into coins, bone mill to transform limestone into cement. So many different buildings that we're discovering now. But my city is definitely slowly but surely growing. In terms of the map, we're only here. So the map does seem very big. I love that. Here it is, ladies and gents. Few minutes have passed. I haven't counted, to be honest, but it goes back to my point of, I think it was too many minutes. we have developed quite a bit the city. We have actually completed all of the objectives of the tutorial or of the demo if you wish. We have, for example, increased our territory by more than 30,000 square meter. You can see that on the minimap, right? I haven't taken over the whole island, but we have definitely grown quite a bit. Then I've basically built all of the buildings that are in the game. So for example, on food, we started making bread, which actually wasn't that easy because you needed, of course, a crop farm with some farmlands, but you also needed a windmill, which required wooden cogwheel, cement, and cloth, which was all things we didn't have at the beginning. And similarly, then after also bakery, which also required some cement. We have grown the population to reach more than 400. We're actually now at more than 600 by building more and more houses, by giving food to our people. I mean, you can see I have good reserves of pretty much everything. Using the guild hall over here, I've also trained a few more people for specific jobs. For example, diggers, construction site carriers, and builders. Right? We have a lot more of these. This is what you can see over here. I've also done the same with my soldiers. You know, I've started to make actual soldiers, for example, guards for my towers, which require a wooden spoon, but also advanced soldiers, which required iron sword, chain mail, and iron shield. And I feel this was working quite well where, you know, you can choose if you want to make just one, if you want to make more, like increase, you know, easily like this, or make infinite number. So as soon as I have a wooden spear, basically making a guard. And it's the same for those production, right? Looking, for example, here at the wood workshop, I can decide to make only 5 wooden spear if I want, or I can decide to make an infinite number, meaning as long as I have boards, you know, make more. And this is, by the way, where also I was making the wooden cogwheel. Then here, all of the tools, weapons, right? This is where I made, for example, the iron swords. Here, this is the armor smith where I made the iron shield and the chainmail. But as you can see, all of these required coal and also some resources, for example, iron bar. So that is why we have started to mine. Over here, I have a lot of mines. You know, you have an iron mine, a copper hut, and a coal hut. There's also smelting over here next to it. I have placed, by the way, storages across my city so my people don't have to travel too far, usually to drop things. But yeah, with that, we made some advanced soldiers, which you can see over here. I made actually 5 of these advanced soldiers. And then last but not least, in terms of the wealth, we went all the way to making silver coins and actually also copper coins and storing them in this beautiful treasury over here, where, you know, you can see I have some treasures. But yeah, as you can see, we're delivering some coins to it. So yes, we have built all of the buildings over here for basic resources, all of the food production, giving this food to my people through the market and the tavern, all of the mining resources and smelting, processing this into clothes or into coins, and also creating equipments, right? Creating tools, creating weapons, etc. All of the buildings that are at 0 are actually not available in this build. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please smash the like button. And if you haven't watched it yet, you should definitely watch the video on the screen now, which is my review of the current state of the game, what they think they need to improve, what I think is good about it, and also the next step, you know, what is coming next. So watch this one, or if you have watched it already, maybe just check on the channel. I'm sure there's a new video you've missed.